A new episode of Pokemon Presents dropped this morning, and I'd say this is the best episode of the show we've gotten to date. It was amazing in my opinion. I'm very excited about the future of the Pokemon franchise, so obviously that's what I want to talk about today. It started off as these things usually do with the smaller games, new additions coming to stuff like Pokemon Cafe. Pokemon Unite's mobile version is dropping soon, so if you want a new pay-to-win experience on your phone, if you don't have too many of those, you can pre-register for it and you get stuff that appears in both that and the Switch version of the game. Sword and Shield Pokemon are coming to Pokemon Go, which is pretty cool, but I really just want to focus on the major releases coming soon. First, the Diamond and Pearl remakes, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I always forget the actual titles, but right off the bat, you'll immediately notice they look better than the last time they were shown. The art style is the same, but there's better textures, lighting, and weather effects in that. This is something I was trying to get across. Many people like me, when we criticized the visuals the first time we saw this game, because it felt like during the back and forth, during the debate about this game's visuals, it was like people were trying to twist the argument like we wanted something more akin to Sword and Shield, which I must say, that's never going to be my argument, that a game should be more like Sword and Shield, I promise you. But people were making it seem like, we wanted something more like that versus this chibi style, something that's more true to the original look. And that wasn't the case at all. I just think the game looked kind of cheap that first time around, where this looks more polished, more vibrant, and alive, really. And the character and Pokemon models themselves haven't really changed much. It's more environmental, but I think that makes a big difference. Also, they showed off some of the enhanced and new features in this game. A big thing for me is having the Pokemon follow you. I've been saying this for a long time. It kind of goes into that idea of making the world feel more alive, that I want to see more Pokemon on the screen while I'm roaming around. I think that helps tremendously with the immersion in these games. So that was great to see. You've also got clothing customization options now, which is fantastic. Hopefully you'll be able to unlock some stuff here. The major new aspect, though, is probably these Pokemon hideaways. They're basically these dungeons where you run around and catch Pokemon, many of which can only be found in these hideaways. They have different themes. I saw an ice-themed one, volcano-themed one, and you've got your own little hideout in the game that you can customize with these statues, and apparently, depending on your statue layout, that will change which Pokemon appear in the hideaways. So it seems like that'll be a fun new way to catch them all, kind of figuring out how to get different Pokemon to spawn and then obviously going in and catching them. And I've got to note, given some recent releases on Nintendo Switch, all these new features are included with the game, not a separate purchase, not locked behind an amiibo. So yeah, after getting this new look at the game, I'll admit I'm much more interested in it now. I'd have picked up a copy to cover the game regardless, but I'm going to be more enthused about doing so after this. Which leads me to the big one, a game that I've been both extremely hyped and nervous about from the moment it was first announced. Pokemon Legends Arceus. This new look at the game, boys. There seems to be a lot of people who disagree with me online, but I'll say I thought this was amazing. Myself, I've been waiting for this franchise to make its next big leap for a long time. I talk about this a lot, playing other similar JRPGs that have just been leaving Pokemon in the dust. Pokemon just hasn't evolved alongside its competition, and sure, due to sales, it hasn't really needed to, but it looks like that wait may finally be over. I mean, I honestly don't know where to start. I'm absolutely loving just about everything I'm seeing in this game. The vast open world. I'll probably start with some of the traversal we saw, getting around these big open environments. Running around on your Pokemon again in these big open spaces looked so cool. I was actually just complaining in the video I did on Monster Hunter Stories about how cool it is flying around in that game. And, I was saying, why am I not getting a similar experience with Pokemon? It felt like Game Freak was calling me out directly, as that's exactly what we're going to get here. You see the player character flying over the map with these giant bird Pokemon. And we see the world more populated now with both Pokemon as well as people. We actually see a bit more of a bustling town in this. I love the time period, by the way, being in this more ancient era. the design of the characters, their costumes, the buildings, and that are also great. And that time period obviously ties into the story we learned before, that you're like building the first Pokedex. But also we learned a bit more here how people aren't coexisting very well with Pokemon in this time, which makes sense. I mean, in their world, these are just giant monsters that at this time people don't really know much about. They even show a cut of a character saying something like, "Pokemon are scary." And it seems like this game's going to make a pretty good argument for that. They show the Pokemon in the wild can get enraged, they get red eyes and everything, and then come after you, attack you, and some of these shots of the player getting chased were, honestly, I thought pretty terrifying. Like, I could see myself getting caught off guard, like, just turning the camera and seeing one of these guys charging at me and having like a jump scare moment in a Pokemon game. Not to mention the Pokemon actually attack you. We see the player taking hits, dodging the way out of these enraged Pokemon attacks, which I thought looked so awesome. Another new layer of gameplay, but I think this more real-time action will keep players more engaged as well. Once more, I think it's going to make it more immersive. And moving on to the battles, we've already seen how they just take place wherever you are in the wild. You don't like zone into an arena like in past Pokemon games. And the Pokemon actually fight, like they hit each other. They're not just standing 10 feet away doing animations, which is something I've wanted forever. We got to see more of that, more of a breakdown here. We get to see a player actually walk up to a wild Pokemon, just throw their Pokeball at the ground near the wild Pokemon, and their Pokemon pops out and a battle seamlessly starts. That's, again, so much more immersive in my opinion. Once more, I thought just about everything with this game, gameplay-wise, looked sick. Which leads me to, I know some people are worried, and I am too, about like the frame rate in this game. The visuals overall aren't the highest quality, which I partially got to say, of all the times to complain about visuals in Pokemon game, people are going to complain about them now, when they're actually doing a major gameplay shift. I've said this in the past with this title. I expect there to be rough edges with this game, even in the final product. People like me have been screeching for years about the formula in these games getting incredibly stale. So I don't think it's fair to expect everything to be perfect when they finally shake things up. Like, I don't know how you can't be impressed with how new of an experience this feels like it's going to be compared to literally everything, the countless Pokemon games that have come before it. How people can't see this as a massive step in a new direction. Maybe there will be some jank, and it's not like you just have to ignore it. I'm still going to call out issues with this game when it releases, because you always want things to get better. But yeah, I don't know how you could look at this and not be excited, not just for this game, but where things may go from here. And hey, if you just want mostly the same thing, you've got the Diamond and Pearl remakes coming as well. And I will throw in there, this is something I've said in the past, I might do another video on it even, because I don't want this to go on any longer, but the release date still worries me for Arceus. Diamond and Pearl remakes got that nice holiday slot coming in November, and it's like you blink and Arceus drops in January. I really hope that doesn't end up hurting the game too much and people just end up like skipping over it, especially when it's clear serious effort is going into giving players a new experience. I want to see them continue to try new things instead of like this end up being a failure and then they just go back to the standard formula for another 25 years. Anyway, with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on the latest episode of Pokemon Presents in the comments. Did you enjoy it as much as I did? Are you hyped for the upcoming release of Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, as well as Legends Arceus? As always, I'm the Shy Guy, Johnny Zakari, and thanks for watching.